A very good evening to all of you. I'm very happy to see you on my way. I heard that you are getting your holidays soon, yeah? Yes. So, when I was at your age, we were very looking forward to this holiday because in Sri Lanka, what we do is we used to go and see our grandparents. But if you want to go and see your grandparents, I believe you have to take a flight all the way. Yes? And then so on. But but you can always ask your grandparents to come here, isn't it? That's another good thing. So today I'm going to talk about a few things. I hope, please raise their hands up over there for the last talk. Oh, very good. So you might be remembering what I talked about, yes? So you are ready to answer questions? No? Oh, very good. So if you are saying yes, I believe in you. Okay? So I'm not going to ask. I trust you because as young children, we always should remember that we should be trustworthy. When you are saying yes, I know, I can answer, I believe in you. So on my way, I was reading a book, a very interesting book. I was reading about a 13-year-old girl from England. When she was young, she thought that we human beings should be perfect. What do you think? Do you think we should be perfect? Who thinks that we should be perfect? Okay, you can raise your hands up. I'm not going to give you a black mark or, I'm not going to mark you Okay, so everybody else believes that human beings should be perfect? Okay, you can't. You don't know whether they should be perfect or not. But this girl, when she was very young like you, it came to her mind that as a little girl, like we human beings should be perfect. So when she was going to school, when she met elderly people like aunties and uncles, even when she went to church, remember this is in England, she asked how can a person be perfect? Then everybody said, okay, you be nice to your parents, you be nice to your friends, you be nice to animals and the environment. But everybody gave a similar answer, you be nice. But she's saying, even with that, when she grew up, she found a lot of people who are nice, but still they are not perfect. So there should be something more. So she became 18 years old. She worked in a library. She accidentally found a Buddhist book. Now she's saying, one day I happened to pick up a small book entitled The Mind Unshaken. The name of the book is The Mind Unshaken. I like the title. It was written by an English journalist about his time in Thailand. Now who wrote this? A journalist in Thailand. Okay, what is the title of the book? The Mind Unshaken. It gave very basics of Buddhism, the Four Noble Truths, the Noble Eightfold Path, the 3 characteristics of existence, and that sort of thing. Now you might not understand, these are some basic things that you will learn as you go along. If you are a Buddhist, if you are born into Buddhism, these are the things actually you should be learning. Now this girl is 18 years old. Now see what happens, we advertise this to happen at 6 o'clock and people are still coming and it's okay, please come in and sit. Very difficult to concentrate on the talk when there's disturbance going on. So she mentioned, I was halfway through the book. I said to my mother, I'm a Buddhist. What did she say? I'm a Buddhist. And she said, that's nice dear. You know what did the mother say? That's nice dear. Finish reading the book and then you can tell me all about it. What did the mother say? You finish reading the book, you tell me about it. Yes? 6 months later, She became a Buddhist too. What happened? Now this is in England, you know. This is in England. This happened long time ago. A small girl who was looking for perfection in her life and grew up. She worked in a library, accidentally found Buddhism, and she became a Buddhist. Later on, she's still living. She became to be one of the most respected nuns in the world, Ani Tenzin Palmo. She spent 21 years of her life in a cave in the Himalayas to be a Buddhist nun. She's very respected. She has been to Australia. Now this is how Australians, this is how the British, this is how everybody else who are not Buddhists find our religion interesting and important. Now do you think we are finding it the same way? Interesting? Important? Yes? Those, please raise their hands up who agree with my point of view here. Yes, that's why we are sitting down to learn what our religion is. When everybody else who are not Buddhist finding it most interesting thing in the world, she said only in Buddhism, when she grew up from the age 13 to 18, 19, she read many other religions, but none of these religions gave the path to perfection. Now, do you think in Buddhism we have a path to perfection? Indeed, we have the path to perfection. If you guys want to be perfect, then you have to live by the what? Live by the what? Buddhist ways, or in other words, live by the words of the Buddha. Can you come up with another term for that? What is the teaching of the Buddha is called? The Dhamma. Yes? Buddha, Dhamma, and where do I belong? Sangha. Thank you very much. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about a teaching given by Lord Buddha to make sure that he gave the teaching to make sure that he gave the teaching, and this is not something that I created. Okay, children, now you have to please be silent. Please listen to me. I'm going to finish early. If you listen to this, like you said, you can be a perfect person in the future. These little things you try to practice in your day-to-day life will bring a lot of happiness in your life. You know, so like the British little girl who wanted to find perfection at the age of 30, where she found a lot of happiness through reading one single book. If you try to understand this, it can create a lot of peace and happiness in your future life. No matter what happens to you, you know how to face problems, situations, university, marriage, little disputes between your siblings, everything. So today I am going to give you a teaching given by Lord Buddha. So I am going to first recite this in Pali to make sure that this was given by Lord Buddha. Otherwise, because of the nature of this teaching, you might think, okay, I created the whole story. So in Pali, it is said, Dasahi bhikkave asaddhammehi samannagato kako katamehi dasahi dansicha pagappocha tintinocha mahaggasocha luddocha akaramikocha dubbalocha oravitacha Muktasaticha neva chaikocha imehi ko bhikkave dasahi asaddhammehi samannagato kako. Okay, now you don't understand the word, but I just say it, okay? Now Buddha is saying, if you were there, dear children, there are 10 things that belongs to a crow. Have you seen a crow? If you are from Sri Lanka, you should have seen. Have you seen magpies or magpies? Yeah. Have you seen ravens? Yeah. So everybody knows what a crow is. So Buddha is saying there are 10 things that is the nature of a crow. But if a human being have these 10 things within their lives, it's not going to be nice. Ultimately, you will become what? A living crow. Are you guys crows?
No.
But when you start shouting, I feel like, you all are crows, little sounds coming here and there. So Buddha is giving this teaching not for us as human beings not to be like crows. But when Buddha is saying that crow has 10 bad things, do you think everybody has bad things? Like, do you know anything that has to do with crows? Anything good that you can tell about crows? Yes? There cannot be people who are only bad, and there cannot be people who are only good. So likewise, I come up with 3 things that a crow is in good, in a good way. The crow, when a crow finds some food, he will not eat that alone. So he always, what is the sound that a crow makes? What's the sound? Kak, kak, yeah? Who knows that old McDonald's had a farm? Yes. But unfortunately they didn't have crows in that farm. So, no kak, kak, kak sound, okay? But remember, the crow is in a way, when the crow finds food, he invites other crows to come and share the meal with him, or that crow. The other good thing about the crow is, when one of the crows get injured or goes into trouble, they also call for other crows to come and help. Do you think that's a good thing? Yes. Do you guys do that when other people are in trouble? What is the number that you dial?
000.
I'm not talking about that. Okay, everybody can dial 000. But okay, let's talk about it. So what Buddha is saying, out of these few things, the crow has more bad qualities. Now remember the first one. First one is Dansicha. Dansicha means a crow is mischievous. Okay? A crow is always mischievous. How can a crow be mischievous? Have you seen the crows here?
Yes. Like snooping around.
Yeah, if you go to Sri Lanka, unfortunately, you should live in a country like Sri Lanka and India to realize this Dhamma,
Not like monkeys, they look like crows.
Monkeys are a lot better, Sometimes crows won't let Baba, yes?
The crows can camouflage.
Yes, crows can camouflage. But if you leave your garbage bins open, they will mess the whole place up, putting everything up. But have you seen children like that?
No.
No? I should. When I was your age, to be honest, I had a bad habit, My mother used to scold me all the time. When I go to a place, I always open the cupboards and open the fridge and see what is. I was so curious. Have you seen kids doing that? Are you guys doing that? So now this is one quality of a crow. So are you guys crows now? So okay, parents, if your children are doing this, please remind them now this is a quality of a crow. We are human beings. Buddha said not to do this. Okay, you cannot be mischievous. Some kids are very provocative. How can, I don't know to what extent we Buddhist children do this, but when you grow up, when you go to school, you will find a lot of children bullying other children, students. Now, do you think that that's a quality of a crow? To provoke others? Yes. So, do you think bullying is a good thing? A bullying person is a human or a crow? A crow. But don't call them crow, you will get another good shot from them, According to if you find a friend bullying you, say, you are a crow. Don't say that. You come home and tell your mother we have a crow in our class, bullying all the time, okay? So, if you are not going to provoke others, what is our responsibility? If you are not going to be a crow, what is our responsibility? Yes, can someone, yes? Not to bully others, yes?
Help others.
Sorry?
Help others.
Help others, yes?
Say nice things.
Say nice things. If you are not going to, like a crow, messing up the whole place up, always you should behave in a way that you settle things down, so you calm other people down. Even by looking at you, other people get happy. Have you seen people like that? Sometimes I see beautiful children, they come to my talks and sit down and nicely listen. At the end of my sermon, I call them, ask, Puta, what's your name? Who's your mother and father? You behave so well. I am unbelievable. So in that way, some people behave very nicely. Who knows the Dennis the Menace? Do you think he's like a crow? Yes. Who's Mr. Do you know Mr. Wilson? Who's Mr. Wilson? Neighbor. So who's getting in trouble because of Dennis? Mr. Wilson. So I don't want you to be like Dennis the Menace, So you have to always behave in a way wherever you go. Make sure that you are not going to be a crow. The second one, Buddha says, Bhagavochan means shamelessness. Some people, how does a crow behave in a very shameless way? If you stand under a Sri Lankan tree, you will understand what a shameless animal a crow is. They always poop on your head, I must say, okay, now listen, be silent. Now I am not saying that we are going to poop on others' heads. But listen to me. But whatever you do that discomforts others can be of a crow's nature. Okay. Now, for example, now you are sitting with somebody. Now I know, guys like to pinch others. Girls like to pinch, isn't it? When I was schooling, we had something called the same pinch. Accidentally, if we are saying, I don't know whether this is something Sri Lankan when we were schooling. If we wear the same shoes, they say same pinch. They pinch hard. I think it's a girlish thing, isn't it? I know. Okay. So, in any way, you are not supposed to be doing a shameless thing. There's a nice story coming in Buddhism. There were two crows in Buddha's time, a long time ago. So they were standing on the gate, and there was this important minister of the government going to come out of the house. Then this one crow tells the other, my friend, I'm going to do something nice. What do you think that the crow did? Yes, the crow pulled on his head. He was about to go to an important function. Then he got so angry with these crows. You know what he did? He did something very nasty later. Time went by, everything was okay, but this man kept the anger within his heart. Anger within his heart. One day there was this goat who came to the kingdom who wants to eat rice, the paddy. So there was this old woman who didn't like this. You know what did she do to this goat? She threw a matchstick to the goat and the goat got on fire. Okay. The goat ran everywhere in the kingdom, in the city, and the whole place was on fire. Ultimately, the goat went to the king's elephants. King had King had a group of elephants where he kept for himself. Like you have dogs at home, kings, rich people have big animals those days, elephants, horses. So this elephant got burned. So the elephant was injured. There was no way any doctor can cure this elephant's wounds. So the king was worried. King called every minister in the kingdom and asked for a solution. Now what do you think this minister gave as the solution? Yes?
He said something like the crows could save him when they killed all the crows.
Yes. The minister said, only the oil of the crow can cure elephant wounds. So everybody in the kingdom started killing crows. But unfortunately, crow is only one animal who doesn't have any oil in his body, Crow doesn't have you seen any fat crows? No? So there's nothing called crow oil. So they had to kill a lot of crows until it came to this particular crow who was asked to be killed, but everything went well. Elephants got cured, the crows got saved. So this is what happens if you are doing shameless things. Now we are, what are we? No, we are not human crows. We are human beings. Okay, we are not human crows. We are human beings. Now boys and girls, listen to me. Before doing something, there are a few things we must think about. Where are we from? We are living in Australia, but we belong to good parents. Our parents are from Sri Lanka. We belong to a good religion where it doesn't appreciate shameless things. As I always say, when you are in the future, when you grow up, if you are not sure of what you are going to do, think who you are, what my religion is, whether this is right or wrong, where I come from. Before thinking, don't do anything. You understand? There are a lot of things that you need to consider. But whatever that brings shame, misbehavior is not acceptable, appreciated within the religion. Okay? In Sri Lanka, you don't know. In Sri Lanka, normally all the women, all men and women, they wear properly, But in the Western countries, they not usually, when they can wear properly. I have seen girls wearing half, Do you think that's good? No. So you should not be revealing yourself. I was listening to a nice story the other day. An American professor was advising some young girls who were wearing very short. So this professor was saying to this group of girls, girls, do you know where diamonds are found? Diamonds? You know where diamonds can be found? In underground. It's not easy to find diamonds. Do you know where gems can be found? Underground. Do you know where gold can be found? Do you know where oil can be found? Everything that we consider valuable in this world is hidden deep within the earth. They cannot be revealed or taken easily. Like that, we human beings, boys and girls, everything that is valuable to us, we don't always reveal ourselves, and we don't go in the open and other people can exploit us. Do you understand? Do you get the message? We have something called beauty. We all are very beautiful. We are beautiful in our own ways, but when you grow up, you don't have to show that beauty in a very inappropriate ways. You don't have to show your legs to show, everybody that I am beautiful. Huh? If somebody is beautiful, if somebody else wants your beauty, they should deserve it, and they like all the diamonds, gems, oil, gold, whatever the valuable thing on this earth, they should find it within you. You don't give it freely to others. You are not going to entertain others. Do you understand? Am I clear? Okay, wherever you go, wear properly, behave well, wear something very appropriate, don't reveal yourselves. Valuable things that you have are deep within you, it cannot be shown to everybody. Please understand. The third one is Tintinoshana. Those people who are writing this down are going to get in trouble next time because I'm going to ask them. Okay? And those who are going to raise their hands up when I ask whether you know this, I'm going to believe them. Okay? So the third one is, a crow is a very suspicious animal. I don't know whether you get to play with crows, but in Sri Lanka, even if you raise your hand up, all the crows will be going away. So what's the problem with being suspicious? Yes? Yeah, you unnecessarily, if you start suspecting others, you cannot live your life properly. Now when you grow up, there will be a lot of thoughts of suspicion coming into your head. My brother was always suspicious of me. He thought that I am stealing his pocket money. So it's his problem. I never steal his pocket money. But I never suspected him stealing my pocket money. So now we live in a society where everybody is suspecting others, They are suspicious of their parents. Parents are suspicious of their children. But if you, like, you know why your parents always ask questions? Were you sleeping the other day? Did you go to bed on time? They switch off their lights and go, but do you sleep? You don't sleep sometimes. You are always with your iPad on. So are you helping your parents with their suspicion? So do they have a reasonable enough to be suspicious? So if they say, okay, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, you need to sleep, are you going to behave in a very suspicious way? Yeah, you cannot guarantee, but you will try in the future, yes? But the idea is, if you have suspicion within you, it's very difficult to live your life. You're always suspicious about, oh, my school friend, he must be copying from me. I remember at one of my exams, there was this, one of my friends, he was a very good friend, he was my best friend, but still he was very suspicious that I'm copying from him. So I didn't get a chance to copy from him at all. In Thailand, because teachers cannot trust students, when you go for an exam, they give you a hat like this. You cannot see from this side and this side. You can see only exam question. Okay? Why is this? Why is this that people cannot trust? Because they are suspicious. Because when people cannot trust you, they come up with other ways to make some sort of guarantee that you are not going to cheat. Do you understand? If you don't have suspicion with you, then you are going to trust other people a lot. Now please honestly tell me, children, what do you suspect the most? Like, what are your suspicions in life? No such things? No? So okay, you don't have the thing called suspicion within your life, so that's perfect. But when you grow up, when you start thinking more, there are these situations you'll be suspecting a lot. But give it a break. You need to live a trustworthy life if you want to trust other people. Sometimes when you cannot trust yourself, you start suspecting everybody else. Do you understand? Okay, what is the first point? What is the first point? Then is the menace. Be mischievous. If you are a mischievous boy or a girl, you are going to behave like a crow. Then the second one, you are going to, what is the second one? Shamelessness. If you are going to do shameless things in life, you are ultimately going to be like a crow. There are two important words given by Buddha. Buddha gives very important two words. One is shameless fear. Okay, the other one is moral shame and moral fear. What do you say by moral fear? You are afraid to do bad things. Moral shame is you are afraid to do shameless things. These two things are very important in human's life. If you are afraid of doing bad and if you are afraid of doing shameless things, that's very important. Create that. Those days, I believe my mother used to say, during her time, the violence and everything in Sri Lanka didn't exist much because everybody was afraid of doing wrong things in society. But now, even for very little thing in America, if you see a laptop in the car, they will break the window and take it away. For $100, $200, people will kill each other. Because of what? They don't have moral shame and moral fear. So try to understand these things. Okay, Mahagasocha, the fourth one is very interesting. A crow is eating all the time. Yes. Now tell me, children, do we eat all the time?
No.
I'm not talking about eating 3 meals a day. I'm talking about people who will go to sleep and wake up in the night, open the fridge and go for yogurt, ice cream, chips. Huh? Nobody do that. Yeah? Can anybody come? Can somebody be honest with me? Who wants to open the fridge? No? Okay, at your age this is not, but I find a lot of adults doing that, So, do you think eating all the time is a problem?
Yes.
I don't eat all the time, but I'm fat. I eat only, of course, you know, when I was a kid, I used to eat a lot. But when I became a monk, I started eating only one time a day. Then it became 2 times a day. Now again, because I am far away in the monastery, I only eat 1 time a day. So there was this famous king during Buddha's time. His name was Pasena the Kosala. When you start reading Buddhism, you will understand. He used to eat 1 whole rice cooker. Yes. Now I didn't believe that. I didn't believe that until I found one of my friends. He was studying with me, and we stopped over in Pakistan for a transit period, and we were taken to a good hotel where there was a buffet. I could imagine the amount of rice he got served. It was like a big mountain. I was asking, are you sure you are going to eat all this? Then he said, come on, this is a buffet. You know, we don't get to eat like this. Because you are kids, you have not seen people eating, but have seen people eating kilos and kilos of rice. But do you think eating can bring a lot of problems in life? Yes, obviously when you grow up now, you will hear a lot of cholesterol, you will hear your grandparents having diabetes, the cholesterol, arthritis, obesity. Now look at me, huh? I'm fat, I'm big, okay? And I believe because I ate a lot, I became like this. But to be honest, not everybody who's fat get fat because they eat too much. Even those people who doesn't eat too much can get fat because there are a lot of contributing factors. So Buddha advised King Pasenadi, try to reduce your rice portion to 2-3 cups and maintain a healthy diet. Buddha also gave him advice. It's a very beautiful advice. He gave advice like this: Arogya Paramalabha, Santutti Paramandana, Viswasa Paramajati, Nibbana Parama Sukha. Arogya Paramalabha. What does that mean? What does that mean? Arogya Paramalabha. Okay, I'm sorry you don't know. Arogya Paramalabha means health is the greatest profit. How can, when you have a good health, how can that be of good profit? 2 weeks ago, 1 month ago actually, was it 1 month ago? Yes, 1 month ago I gave the same talk at BSV. And before coming there, I met a Sri Lankan boy who came to Australia as a student. So all this 4, 5, 6 years of time, he saved some money for his future. But unfortunately, his father got sick. His father needed a kidney transplant. So he had to send all his savings home. Why? Because health was not good. Taking curing takes a lot of money. If you can maintain good health, do you think your mother had... What is happening there? Okay. A little boy. Yes? Little boys can be crows, but big boys cannot be crows. Okay. So, here, listen to me now. So, can you think about that when you get sick? Where do you go to?
Doctor.
And doctors, can they come without money? Do you think they come free?
No.
Does medicine come free?
No.
And what do you think that's causing you sick? I'm not saying the food will make you sick all the time, but please understand there's an Egyptian saying. You know where Egypt is? It's another country. There's an Egyptian saying: 1/4 of food that you will eat will keep you surviving. All other 3/4 will keep your doctor surviving. You know? So please understand, if you want to keep your doctor surviving, you eat too much and get sick. Doctors can earn a lot when you get sick. It's a good job. Yes? When you want to grow up, want to become somebody, you can be a lawyer or a doctor. There's a saying also, another saying, lawyers are very expensive, you know that? Any lawyers around? They say, lawyers take your money, okay? But doctors take your money and they kill you also. Yes? You can never trust a doctor. There was this one doctor who wrote a book. The worst enemy in your life is your doctor. You never know what they will do. But don't worry, I think doctors in Australia, they are very good. The idea here is, be sensible when you are eating. When you want KFC, when you want McDonald's, where else you can go? Yes? Huh? Hungry Jacks, yeah? Who likes Nando's, yeah? Okay. So these food are not good as your mother's food. They can get you in trouble. They will keep your doctor living, but it will ultimately make you sick and you will die early. So it is a quality of a crow that you eat unnecessarily in a very eat sensibly. Okay, that's the bottom line here. Do you understand? Okay. Now let's go to the fifth point. It's called Yudhocha. Yudhocha means a crow is a cruel animal. When you say cruel, have you seen crows doing cruel things? What kind of cruelty do you know about crows? Yes? Sorry? Yes, yes. Yeah, garbage. Like, it's not that cruel, to mess with your garbage, but, these crows will not let leave the small animals. If you see a small chicken, a chick, they always go and peck on them. I've seen in Australian news, there was this postman always being attacked by a raven, So this postman saying, no, I'm not going to go and put letters on that street because this raven is always pecking on my head. Even if you see a small animal with a small wound, a crow will come and worsen the situation. Do you understand? So, can humans be cruel? Yes. There are a lot of incidents in this world. If you take the newspaper, you will find a lot of cruelty happening in the world more than good things. Why do you think this is? Why are human beings so cruel? Yes? Oh my God, yeah, okay. We are not used to cruelty. We are against cruelty. Okay, if I say, okay, children, let's go and start a war, who will agree with me? No, we are not going to start a war. Okay? Yeah, no way. But the honest, you will understand when you grow up, there are a lot of wars in this world more than a lot of peace, Peace is very scarce, peace is very little. But if you want to gather 100 people to start a big fight, you can easily do that. You don't live in a school like that. In Sri Lanka, when I was a child, we always fight with other schools. And it's a matter of saying, okay, let's go and fight. I never played hockey, but I had a hockey stick. So, I had a hockey stick, and one day I went with I don't know, I got it from a friend. So I went home with my hockey stick, and my father asked, you started playing hockey. I said, no, this is my fighting instrument, I don't play hockey. Hockey stick is a good, but this is back in Sri Lanka, we were young, but it's called cruelty, fighting with each other. You make any worse situation worse, people are cruel in this world. So what is the idea here as children? What are we trying to learn? Try to be peaceful. Try to not to go into conflict. Okay, if during your holiday, if you ask your mother and father to write down all the conflicts in the world, this one whole book will not be enough. Because every continent, some cruelty is happening. Australia, we are lucky we don't have that kind of cruelty happening in Australia. But if you just cross the border into Papua New Guinea, maybe Haiti, not Haiti, I don't know, like there are a lot of other countries, there's cruelty existing in one way or another. So as Buddhists, as children, what is our number one goal in life? In our religion, what is that? We have to be compassionate. What is compassionate? What is compassion? Yes? Caring for others. When somebody falls in trouble, your heart must ache, you know. Of course, girls, you know, when you see puppies, you say, oh, beautiful puppy, yeah? But do you do that with humans? Oh, poor boy. Do you do that with humans? No, hardly. If you see a poor boy from India, Africa, do you say that? Oh, poor boy. You say, Mommy, we should send some money. Oh, poor monk, we should send some chocolates in. You don't do that, yes? But, please understand, compassion is very important. Buddha says, we human beings should be like birds with two wings. One wing is compassion, the other wing is wisdom, knowledge, understanding, realization. This is how we fly as human beings. Wisdom and compassion. So you have to be like a bird with wisdom and compassion. But do you think crows are like that? No. So please, number 6. Crows are less compassionate. They don't help other animals. They always try to make quarrels and, you know, kill little birds, and, you know, if they don't like another bird, they will always come and pick on you. Number 7 is called Dullabocha. Dullabocha means crows are very weak. You know, although you see a crow, it is very easy, you know, it is very here. The idea is the crow is very weak in his body and mind. When somebody is very weak in your mind, you cannot progress in your life. Because you will be always complaining, you will always feeling lazy, you know. I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm too tired, I will do this tomorrow, maybe I will do it later. Now do you guys say that? Yes. You guys say that all the time. But if you go swimming, if you go like after sport, after basketball practice, it's okay, you come home and say, okay, I cannot do that. But you watch TV all the time, and you know, when your parents ask you to do, okay, do your homework, can you say tired? No. You can say, I'm so tired of watching TV, maybe tomorrow, yeah? Have you said that? No, never said. Okay guys, be honest. Huh? So what is the bad quality here? Laziness. Okay, laziness. You should not be lazy. You should not be weak in your mind. You should have a goal in your life. What is your goal in life? Yes? Oh, that's very good. That's a good thing. But before that, you might have to do a few other things, you know, like study first, and, you know. I also wanted to become a monk at the age of 16. But my mother said, okay, you know, it's okay with me, but why not, you know, why don't you study first? Then I said, okay. Then it took me another 10 years to become a monk because I listened to my mother. But I have no regrets because I managed to prove myself. I went to university, I earned a degree, then I realized, okay, I don't want it. So I became a monk. So I'm happy. In that way, it's good. Enlightenment is a goal in our life, but it's a bit distant for us. Because we should reach enlightenment tomorrow, but we need to learn how to live today. Yes? Before enlightenment, there are a lot of other things that you need to fulfill, like perfections. So any goals in your life, girls and boys? When I was very young like you, I wanted to become a bus driver. When my relatives ask, Puta, what do you want to be? I say, I want to be a bus driver. Why do you laugh? It's a good job. Can't bus drivers exist? I know, like future, this is our future in Australia. I believe this is also the future of Sri Lanka, even you're in Australia. There can be lawyers here, doctors here, engineers here. There can be carpenters here. I'm not saying you should not become doctors or lawyers, but we should also respect other professions as well. Because if we don't have janitors, if we don't have carpenters, if we don't have all the little people, big people doing little things, do you think there will be chairs to sit down? Do you think there will be clean streets, roads, bathrooms, toilets? No. Whatever you do in life, it's a noble thing as long as you're not killing, stealing, and selling firearms, selling drugs, and doing all the bad things. Every other profession, every other industry in our world is a noble thing. So you should not be laughing at bus drivers. A lot of people go to work because of train drivers. How do you go to Sri Lanka? Plane. And who drives the plane? At one time I wanted to become a pilot, you know that? And I told my father that my father was very much like you know. I told him I want to become a pilot, and he said, no, it's a driver's job. You should not become a pilot. I thought like he was scared of me dying like after a plane crash. But his concern was that it was a driver's job. So yeah, not good for me. But isn't a pilot a good thing, you know? Because they take us places. So please understand, you should not look down upon other people's jobs. Not everybody can become doctors, lawyers, engineers, whatever you want to be, but you have to have a goal in life. So I enjoyed becoming a bus driver. I never became a bus driver. I never have driven a bus. But that was my ambition when I was young. But things change. I became somebody else. What is the idea here? Have a target, have an ambition, be strong in your body and mind. Not only the body. Some people are, they want to go to gym and be like, who's the bodybuilding Arnold? Is he still famous? Okay. I thought he was only during our time, but he's still famous, isn't it? I thought it was John Cena now. No? Okay. So Arnold Schwarzenegger, you can have a body, but if you don't have the mind, ultimately you are going to look stupid, isn't it? So, okay, healthy body and mind. I'm going to ask this again. Okay, Oravitacha. Oravitacha means the crow has a bad sound. Do you like the sound? Ka, ka, ka. In Sri Lanka, Sri Lankans believe if a crow shouts in the morning, the relatives are going to come, somebody's come, and some close their doors and pretend that they are not there. This happens in Sri Lanka. Luckily, we don't have that much of crows or ravens or monkeys in Australia that Now, children, are you listening to me? Okay, now come. Very little time, slow down. Okay, I'm going to finish soon. So, what's number 7? Anything that comes out of the crow's mouth is harsh, unpleasant. It's not nice to, you don't have crows in your house to sing. Yes? So if you ask a crow to sing, like there are nice other birds like parrots, some parrots, like the minor birds can talk very nicely. Have you seen a talking parrot? Yes. In Sri Lanka there are a lot of talking minor birds and parrots. So what is the idea here? Buddha always said, when you are opening your mouth, you talk like Madhurabani, Pupavani. What is Madhurabani? Words like honey, I'm not saying that you should talk to people, honey, honey, not like that. Huh? Words, sweet as honey, and Puppavani means words, beautiful as flowers. Can you do that? Not sure. Yes? Because a lot of people swear in this word. You know, when you grow up, you will get to meet a lot of Australians. I believe you are Australian, we are Australian as well. But still, we have the thing called, we come from a better family background, we come from a good culture, we come from Sri Lanka at the end of the day. So when we are opening our mouths, when we put out a word, there is a saying, whatever the bad thing you say can be forgiven, but whatever the bad thing you might say cannot be forgotten. You understand? You can put words out easily and hurt other people. They can forgive you, but they will remember it forever and say, oh, she said that to me, I'm hurt. He said that to me, I'm hurt. So make sure when you're opening your mouth, not to swear, not to lie, not to gossip. And what else? We already talked about this. Not to use backbiting words. What do you mean by backbiting words? Not to use any words against another person. Some people, they can come and talk to you nicely. Oh, you are very nice. But when you are not around, they can go and tell you, like friends, oh, she's like that. She's a big, she's a big egoic, she's not, like that. Those things are not acceptable, not allowable in Buddhism, and not from the place, especially we come from, with good parents, with good religious background, with good culture. Do you understand? So instead of what other words are going to be like, Madhurabani was Madhurabani, words like honey, words like flowers. The moment you open your mouth, everybody is going to look at you. Oh, what a beautiful child. Huh? Beautiful words. Okay. Can you talk like that? Difficult? But always be mindful. Words can kill other people. Words can hurt you. If some friend come and tell you bad things. That's why the bullying has become a problem. In schools. Why bullying has become a problem? Because somebody would come and say, oh, you are ugly, you are fat, you are thin, you are Asian, you are black, you are brown, you are pink. Huh? So words can hurt you. So if you use words like this, are you going to be like a crow? Please use your words properly. That is the lesson here. Okay, the number 9. Muttasathicha. Forgetfulness. What do you mean by forget? Now crows, crows, they like to eat everything. They take everything, they hide. Have you seen dogs hiding bones?
Yes.
Are they able to find it all the time? So, most of the dogs can find it because they have good sense of where they. But crows, they hide food they cannot remember. So just they take one food and forget it and go and take some other thing, So forgetfulness is not a good thing. Do you forget things? Sometimes, I put my glasses like this and look for my glasses everywhere, and I don't know where I kept it. And there was this lady coming to the temple. She said, oh, Bhante, my glasses have been stolen in the temple. I looked it for everywhere. I went around the Chaitya, the pagoda, but it was on the top of her head, So when we forget things, you get suspicious. You cannot remember things. You cannot perform at exams well. Most of I studied a lot. But the moment I go for an exam, I forget everything, I think that is normal. But to have good memory is very important. Now tell me who can remember all the, what is the chakra? Times table? All up to what number? 12 is too easy. At least 25 times is better. Okay? The times you cannot? is universally accepted as a good potent memory enhancer. Do you eat Coca-Cola? Who knows Coca-Cola? Okay, very good. Who's not eating Coca-Cola? When I was at university, please children listen to me. When I was at university, my professor was doing some research on Coca-Cola. So the term for Coca-Cola is Binka Beloba. So she said, she was a professor in hygiene, she said the Coca-Cola can enhance your memory a lot. So we are from Sri Lanka, we said, oh, we know Coca-Cola, we have a lot of them in Sri Lanka. So like back then it was not available in that country. So one of my friends told, okay madam, we will bring you kilos and kilos of Coca-Cola. I think he got marks in his exam because he, not from through his memory, because he supplied a lot of Coca-Cola to our professor. So either you give Coca-Cola, either you eat Coca-Cola. The important part is you have to have good. You should not be forgetful. What are the things that we forget the most? Buddha says there are two things very rare in this world. The first one is somebody does a good favor to you. Okay? Lot of people do favors in your life. My parents have done a lot of good things. My grandparents, they have done a lot of good things to me. So doing something very good is very rare, Buddha says. And the number two rare thing is you show gratitude. That is also very rare. Are we being grateful to everybody that help us? Sometimes we forget. Sometimes we forget to say thank you. Sometimes we forget our parents. You know, when you grow up, you find a girlfriend or a boyfriend, sometimes you forget your parents. Yeah? So, but who has helped all your life with food, money, clothes, everything? Your parents. So be grateful. Not to be forgetful is to be grateful, you know. Grateful for everybody who has helped you in this life. So up to now, who has helped you the most? Yes? Mother and father. Who else? Yes? Teachers. Who else? Siblings. Who else? Yes? Yes? Sorry? Your parents? Yes. So a lot of people, you cannot live alone, you cannot survive alone. A lot of people have helped you in this life, but as a rule, don't forget to be grateful for them in the future when you become doctors, lawyers, whatever the thing. Make sure that you take care of them in a good way. But you did mention, monks, the temple people. Aren't they helping you? Am I not helping you?
Yes.
Then why did you forget me? No, you didn't say. Nobody said that I'm bitter now. The monks are helpful. Every problem in your life, where would you come? To the temple and you talk with monks and say, okay, we have a problem, this problem, that problem, never-ending problems. Who's going to be there for your never-ending problems? Monks and the temple, Lord Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Don't forget, you are in debt, especially when you are a Buddhist, you are in debt to Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. That's why when you are born as a Buddhist, if you are taking to live according to Dhamma, you are in debt to Lord Buddha for giving us this teaching. So how can you be grateful to Lord Buddha? Yes, Buddha said in his last words, if you want to pay respect to me, if you want to be grateful to me, please live according to the teachings that I have given you. Please keep 5 precepts. Don't kill, don't steal, don't misbehave, don't lie, don't take intoxicants. At least do that, and you are grateful for your master. Who's our master? Lord Sakyamuni Gautama Buddha. So this is how we are being grateful for our master. There are other ways we can be grateful for your parents, siblings, teachers, but this is how we are going to be grateful for our religion and Buddha for giving us this beautiful teaching. Okay, the last one is also very interesting. The crow is somebody who collects things all the time. Have you seen crows collecting stuff?
Yes.
Have you? Now you guys, do you collect things?
Yes.
My grandmother used to collect all the plastics, ice cream tubs and jam bottles and I don't know. When you go to her room, it's like coals with empty stuff, you know? Yeah, coals with empty bottles, you know? All full of empty, you know? Have you seen people like, does your mother collect all this, you know? And they told you not to throw that away? Yes? Oh, yeah. No, yeah, I know that children will never talk against their parents because you might fall in trouble. Yeah. The other time I was talking to children and I said that food is not there for beautification, you know. Food is not necessarily there for facials and you should not put avocados on your face. Avocados on your face. And what else? And you know, curd, milk on your face. And what are those that you keep in your eye? Cucumbers. Everybody was looking at their mothers, you know. They felt very embarrassed. Now don't look at their mother. Okay. This is the easiest way to find out whether people are putting all their food on their face. So that's not the topic. So what's the problem with collecting? You collect everything, unnecessary things. Yes. Well, there's a limit to what we collect. Do you understand? You might want something, you might need something. What are the things that you need? Please come up with few things that you need in your life. Yes? Let's talk about material things. Yes? Food. Yes? Water. Knowledge. Yes? That's not a material thing. Yes? Clothes. Shelter. Oxygen. Yeah. Yes. Yes. But talk about the things that you want. What do you want? A Lamborghini. A Ferrari. Yes. What else? How many clothes you want? You will need a lot of Barbie dolls. Yes. So, now you want these things, but you don't need these things. But what happens when you have too much things that you want more than what you need, you will collect and hoard stuff. You are going to be hoarding little storage in your house. So life is going to be very complicated. There's also saying, we talk about, please understand, we talk about little things. But tell me, what is the worst thing that you can collect? What is the worst thing that you can collect? Yes. Bad karma, okay, that is in a spiritual sense, in a material sense, yes. Bad merits, yes. Yeah. Demerits, okay. I think the worst thing if you want to collect would be, now if you collect too much coconuts, if you collect too much papers, if you collect too much shoes, clothes, cars, people say, you are crazy. Yes, but there are a lot of people who's collecting lots and lots of money. They are okay. Do you think it's right to collect a lot of money? There are a lot of people in this world who's exploiting human beings and collect a lot of money that are not being spent on charity. They are enjoying it alone. So now they are thinking like collecting too much money, all these millionaires and billionaires, they are also type of psychopaths also. Never ending collecting money. Never ending collecting. And do you see a problem here? Do you get too much stingy, attached, and you will die with a lot of selfishness. I was reading a nice saying the other day. It says like this, money cannot bring happiness, but make sure that you earn enough before you believe in this nonsense. You know? Do you get the point here? You should earn. You should have a comfortable lifestyle. It should be very easy for you, but make sure that there are a lot of people suffering around you. There are a lot of people not eating in Africa, India, Sri Lanka. You are lucky enough to come to Australia to live a comfortable lifestyle. But whatever the thing that we earn extra should be given to others. We share, we be charitable. So the justice can be served among all human beings. It's not a perfect world, but still do everything in your capacity as a Buddhist. If you have 2 chocolates, what do? Share. If you have too much clothes, you? Share. What else can you share? Your money, of course, yeah? Toys, everything you can share. But make sure to have an understanding what you need and what you want in life. Yes. You can share your knowledge also. That's what I am doing. We are sharing Dhamma knowledge here. Yes? Okay. Now these are the 10 bad qualities of a crow. Our idea, our aim, and what are we trying to do? We are not going to be like human crows. So please take this message into your heart. Now parents, I need a progress report by next month. Now I have given at least like 25 points with the last Dhamma talk. Your children is behaving according to Dhamma is very important. So